So today I'm jumping on and I'm talking about a few things, and it's all to do with your mind can either control you or you can control it. And the reason why I put that heading is because the mind is such a powerful tool, and yet it can be influenced and trained so powerfully as well, just as strongly. And if you in a space where you're allowing your mind to control you, it will actually start destroying or creating certain people, places, or things that may appear in your world that you do not want, or you're not happy with, or you are experiencing any sort of negative events or traumas because of this. And the reason being is because we create everything that happens in our life, in our business, in every area, in business, money, relationships, health, you name it. We create everything. We're the creator of everything that we see in our reality. And that's why I say, if you don't like it, take responsibility and change it. So that goes back to your mind can either control you or you can control it. And you might be wondering, why would I be talking about this? And the reason being is because a lot of people, especially I see in management, newly started entrepreneurs or people that start out in business, don't actually have any sort of healthy habits or daily routines that they actually work through to be able to set themselves up for the day, to be able to make really great critical thinking results when they're making decisions. And what happens is we create more stress, we create more anxiety and panic, and even at times depression because of this. Because no, we're not thinking from a place of rational, logical thinking, rather than from a place of reactive, emotional thinking. So it is really important to be able to set yourself up for the day. And you may have heard this many times, and many personal development or any sort of coaching or anything like that. And it all comes down to healthy habits and rituals. Now, there are so many rituals and ways to do this, but the thing is it all comes down to finding something that works for you. Most successful entrepreneurs, people like Richard Branson, Mark Zuckerberg, or any of the top high world-renowned entrepreneurs, actually have daily rituals that they work through to be able to set themselves up for the day. And even if you're not in business, even if you're not in management or executive positions, still having these sort of rituals helps to reduce stress dramatically. The amount of people that I speak to that incorporate some sort of mindfulness in the morning, whether that be going out and doing exercise like lifting weights, going for a run, or even sitting down and doing meditation for however long, 10, 15 minutes, even 5 minutes, makes a huge difference in being able to shift your mindset and set yourself up for success for the day. So what is rituals and what are healthy habits? So rituals are actually a practice that we adopt and we embody on a daily basis that really allows us to be able to get into a space of success, and also a space of back into our hearts and out of our head. And when we're in our head, that's where we actually create more stress and panic, which causes us to be more reactive in our decision-making process. And healthy habits are the process of how we go about in being able to create these rituals and be able to utilize them on a long-term basis. So did you know that it actually takes 28 days to instill a new habit? So if you start a new habit, you need to stick with it for at least 28 days for it to be embedded within the mind consciously, for you to be able to run it unconsciously without having to think about it. Now, most people tend to start something and they'll do it for a week, let's say, and they'll drop off. They'll start to slip back into their default mode. Now, some of you may or may not know, I actually started a challenge called the 75 Hard Challenge. And what it actually is you need to do 2 45-minute workouts a day. One of them has to be indoors. You have to follow some clean eating plan, and also you have to drink 1 gallon of water, which is 3.7 liters, and read 10 pages of a book, of a personal development book or a business book, and it has to be a physical book. And the reason why I actually took on this is because when I start to get really busy in my business, my rituals start to slip in other areas of life. And this challenge isn't about, just getting healthy. That is just a result of being able to do this. The challenge, what it does, it actually teaches you to be able to become, to build mental toughness and resilience, because you actually have to do it for 75 days. Now, like I said to you before, most people tend to drop off after the first week, maybe 2 weeks, because either it gets too hard or as it doesn't fit into their lifestyle. And so if you are wanting to do this, let me know and I can send you some details, because it'll be pretty cool to have more people jump onto this. In saying that, putting that aside, so the reason why I actually chose to do this is because I needed to come back and sit back into what I was doing with my habits, to be able to start really focusing on incorporating a solid foundation around my food. So when I get really busy, I tend to not meal prep and not do much around with food. I'll eat on the go, but in healthy food, let's say, and my fitness starts to drop. And if some of you may know me or may not know, I come from a really athletic background. So for me to be able to be doing no exercise, no nothing, is like just mind-boggling for me. It's like a piece of me is missing. But I get so focused on what I'm doing, and that's because I tend to forget about everything else. So it's a matter of coming back and recentering and calibrating everything, so every other area in your life is in flow, rather than just being great here, not so great there. So if you're wanting to improve an area of life, say fitness, let's say health and fitness, start doing something, one thing every day, one thing. Choose one thing, whether that be going for a 45-minute walk every single day. Just do that consistently for 28 days, and you'll be surprised as to how natural and how you don't have to think about it in order to do it. Another great one is with water. Most people don't drink enough water. Most people in business that I know of, or even in management, when I used to work in sales, it was just coffee after coffee after coffee, and next thing you know it, there's no water. So for any of you who are in corporate or sales or consultative roles, maybe start with drinking 3 liters of water a day. If that sounds too daunting, start with 2 liters of water a day, but start with something and just stick to it consistently. So consistency is the actual key in being able to maintain these certain rituals and habits, in being able to make them conscious without having to think about them when you're doing them. So that's what I have been doing, and that's what I have started. And the way that you can do this, I'll give you a great tip that I utilize in business. If you're someone that's in business, or you've got a vision of something that you're wanting to achieve, a great ritual that I've been taught by one of my coaches and mentors was to actually write it down every day as if you have it now. So if you're in business, it might be to be able to X amount of revenue for the month, it might be, or have a certain event that you've presented at, or a speaking gig. If you're not in business, it can be anything, like having a certain car. But what you do is you don't just focus on the one thing, you focus on what it actually creates, and you write it as if you have it now. So if you think about something that you may want in, say, 6 months' time, you write about it as if you have it now. So everything that you may see, you may feel, you may hear, taste, or even touch, even the textures, even the people that you might meet. What are they wearing? What do they look like? You might have a name for that person. What are the foods that you're eating? How do you look? How do you dress? How much money do you earn? So really focus and embody what it is to have that thing in your life as if you have it right now. So that's a great tip that I have learned, and it's really great for actually putting out into the universe and being able to start manifesting things. And the key to this is once you've done it so much, then it starts to become natural within your own mind. But what happens is the writing process of that with anything that you write, even if it's journaling, even if it's, writing your goals, the actual process of writing it on paper activates the unconscious mind by saying, okay, this is what I actually want, rather than just thinking about it and it stays within the mind and it doesn't actually go anywhere. So it's a little bit symbolic to the unconscious mind, which is why journaling is such a powerful tool, and doing the Idealize It Now exercise. So there are a couple of habits or rituals that you can do in terms of habits. If you're someone that's really time poor, which is what I tend to be when I get really busy in my business, is schedule everything in your calendar. If you don't have an electronic calendar, make one, because you can just do it easily in Google. If you've got Outlook, if you've got a Mac, they've got their own types of calendars, but any calendar that you can have on your phone, because that's where you spend your most time on. Schedule everything from waking up, having breakfast, everything from doing journaling, going for a run, exercise, working. So block out those times, client calls, everything that you would do, schedule it in so you know you can keep on track. That's the key to success, because you know exactly what's going to happen, and it can be predictable. But that's the whole purpose of being able to succeed in business, be able to succeed if you're in management, because you know where things are going to get and you can forecast what kind of results you're going to achieve. If you're someone that is not technologically savvy, get a paper calendar. Stick it up on your wall. Like I have both. I have a yearly calendar and I have an electronic calendar. Write everything in your yearly calendar. Get a month-to-month one. You can print off your monthly calendar from Google Calendar, and you can stick it up and write it there. But I highly recommend being able to get something that's on your phone, because that's where you spend the most time. How often do you find yourself the first thing you do when you wake up is actually look at your phone, and the last thing that you do is when you go to bed? Majority of people do that. For those of you who don't, fantastic. I highly commend you, because that's the first step in being able to really being disciplined with yourself with technology, because it can take over. It can take over a lot of aspects of your life and affect, relationships and your relationship with yourself as well. So that's what I can recommend in terms of what you can do to be able to really establish really good rituals and habits in your life. If you're with a partner, or you've got some really close relationships, schedule time for that as well. That's super important, because if you're so focused on creating this vision, ensure that you are actually giving undivided attention to the person that you love the most, for them to be able to support you on the journey and through the process as well. So have a look at all areas of your life. Think about where it is you could improve on, and think about what could make the biggest difference if you did something, and incorporate that every day consistently for 28 days. Okay, so if you're feeling a bit stuck, not really clear as to how to do this, or you would like some more guidance around some business development, reach out to me. I'm here to support you. I'm a business development and personal development coach, and I help startup business owners as well as executives make more money, as well as really own their leadership skills. If you're not in any of those categories, that's okay. Reach out and I'll be able to give you some really great advice. Just jump onto a free call with me and I can assist you, no obligation whatsoever. So let me know, right? Type me below and I will send you the details, and yeah, we'll get started.